All right, it's time. We're at this point actually closer to the middle of November. Game Awards, December 10th. It's about time I start my Game Awards coverage. And what better way, guys, than to start it with good old Gotham Knights. So this is something, I know you guys are here for Gotham Knights. I know you guys are my diehard Gotham Knights community, and as always, I greatly appreciate it. I do want to make these videos periodically for other games, talk about if other games are going to be shown at the Game Awards. So we'll do that over really the next 3.5 weeks. Okay, that'll be like an ongoing series on the channel. But let's talk about Gotham Knights. So this has been the question that's been asked really since it was announced. It's funny, everybody kind of moves on right away, including myself. I actually am kind of the pioneer of seeing something and then immediately worrying about what comes after. But something a lot of people did go to was, okay, Game Awards. Game Awards is a good time. And I do want to give it as much credit as can be given, okay, while remaining, in the middle, because we don't want to get too into it. We all remember what was last year, right? That could have been the first time a lot of people found me in terms of the Arkham community, right? Was my disappointment in last year's Game Awards, the build-up, the fake, all the stuff that we thought we knew or was going to happen, then none of that happened, and everybody got all mad at each other and all that stuff. That was last year. We're in a very, very different spot this year, and it's good. I'm very happy being in this spot. I think last year was a little bit more exciting, but I think I'm overall happier to be in this spot versus last year. So again, this is not insider knowledge. I'm not trying to be more entitled, and I really don't think even this makes anybody more entitled than another person. I do want to bring in a little bit of knowledge I feel like I've learned from Jeff Keighley from those Zoom calls for the Game Awards. Now, a lot of people have been invited to them. I've been invited to them. And pretty much kind of anticlimactic. There's not a lot that goes on in these Zoom calls, okay, to clue you guys in. They're very cool. They're very fun. I'm very grateful to be invited. I hope I can do it for many years and as long as, they do it, whatever. But generally, it's just people asking him questions, and you get a lot of knowledge into Jeff Keighley's mind. And why am I talking so much about that? Well, he literally, creates the whole thing, okay? So it's important to know what he expects the Game Awards to be so that we can temper our expectations, okay? And how he sees the Game Awards is about the celebration of games. That's it, okay? Now, that entails quite a few things. It entails the game awards, literally giving awards to games, and it entails, and so that's like a celebration, and then it entails new announcements. He gets that people are in it for new announcements. With that being said, he can't announce everything. He goes to companies. Companies come to him. They pick. They can't do everything. Sometimes companies just flat out say no. Okay, these are all things that I've learned. We kind of already maybe knew that, but I've 100% learned over these Zoom calls, okay? So that's important to note. Gotham Knights is a candidate. I really don't see how it's not. You look at the history between them. Now, one thing I did find out about history, okay? We always talk about Warner Bros. Has the history, or Sony has history, or Microsoft has history. One thing Jeff Keighley has said, not verbatim, but one thing he has said in a Zoom call that I was participating in is that he actually doesn't like repeats. So if one company does something one year, he doesn't necessarily like it if they do it again with him the year after, because he doesn't see himself, or he doesn't want himself to be seen as being with one company. So Microsoft announced the Series X last year at the show. He doesn't want it to be like a repeated, you know what I mean? Obviously, they'll work things out and maybe he would do it, but he doesn't want to seem one-sided. Now, you could say, well, is he talking about the, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft? I think generally he is, but he also talked about, just in general, other games and other companies in general, that if they do an announcement one year, that's kind of it. Maybe that's it for a couple of years. So that's important to note. Warner Bros. And him have had obviously a very clear relationship, right? 2 years ago, Game Awards 2018 is when we got the Mortal Kombat announcement, to where that game came out a few months later. So you could say, okay, well, was last year a break, and now this year is the time? Obviously, Warner Bros. Is in a pretty good spot this year with what's coming in 2021, right? We have Lego Star Wars, we have Gotham Knights, we have Hogwarts Legacy. I will be making a video for Hogwarts Legacy. I hope I don't just repeat everything that I say in this one for Hogwarts Legacy, but I get people are excited. I get people want Gotham Knights there. I think it's possible. At the same time, I'm not sold. And I guess maybe even the reason that you see, even in the title of this video, right, the fact that I say, new trailer, there is 0% chance. I will come out and say this, with as much certainty as I can. There is, in my opinion, 0% chance we're getting like an extended gameplay presentation, okay? For the most part, we don't even get that in general at the Game Awards. It's mainly trailers. It's mainly first looks, first reveal, or a worldwide reveal, or like world exclusive, whatever they call it, right? It actually depends sometimes on the actual show that they're doing. But those are the things we get. We're not going to get super deep dives into the game. And the issue with Gotham Knights is, you could argue, where are we with the marketing? We've talked about this. In fact, that was even the last video I made, right? Was, do we get Red Hood and Nightwing stuff this month? Because where we're at is, yeah, they could show us a trailer, but does that really make sense? Where we are to where the game is going to come out, which again, we don't know. Are we at the point where we get another trailer? No. The answer is no. The answer is we're in the period where we get information. We're in the period where we get more gameplay, especially, again, repeating what I said in that last video. There's 4 characters. We have 2 of them. They're all equals in this game, but we don't have the other 2 yet. So we need to get the other 2, and the only way I see fair of giving us the other 2 is kind of the exact same way you gave us the first 2, is you show both of them in a gameplay presentation, and you show maybe a villain that goes alongside them. Doesn't have to be literally the minute and second need to match. You don't need to make it 7 minutes and 58 seconds, let's say. I don't even remember how long the first one was. You know what I mean? You don't need to literally match it second by second. But I think you gotta come close, because it wouldn't be fair. If you gave us a 2-minute thing with Red Hood and Nightwing, then you're kind of, maybe inadvertently, maybe just straight up to our face, saying they are not as important to us as, as Batgirl and Robin. You know what I mean? So why do I say that? Well, if we're looking for new information on Gotham Knights, or when it's going to show itself again, I think that's how it would show it, wouldn't it? Now, that's my opinion. I'm asking you guys, too, for your opinion, obviously. Isn't that what we would see? We would see gameplay of these. Now, think about it. Is Jeff Keighley, is the Game Awards in a situation where they could show a 6 to 8 minute gameplay thing of Gotham Knights? Is that what the Game Awards has done in the past? Does that even make sense? You know what I mean? My answer is no. The answer is a very, very easy no. The only thing I could see is a trailer, a cinematic trailer. But again, why? What are you showing in this trailer? Is it like a villain's trailer? Is it a release date trailer? Again, kind of odd to have a release. So say it's a release date trailer. Say it's a cinematic trailer, and then at the end, you give the release date. Kind of odd to do that when, and the game could come out 2, 3, 4 months after, who knows, right? But kind of odd to do that when you've shown 2 characters through gameplay, but you haven't shown the other 2. So what? You're going to show 2, then do a cinematic trailer that gives a release date, then show the other 2, then do like a story trailer, then do like the release trailer like the day before, the day that the game comes out. Like, is that the plan? It doesn't really seem like a very good plan. Now, we're not dealing with the greatest of all companies of marketing, right? Are we? Right? With Warner Bros. Montreal. But to me, again, this is a very different year than it was. Well, I think just in general, right, with how the year's gone, we know it's a different year than it was last year. But in terms of like anticipation for Gotham Knights, this is much different than it was last year, right? We know the game is real. Obviously, there is now the opportunity that the game could be shown again. But you got to think about it. They only have so long. It's only going to be like an hour and a half, a 2-hour show at max, right? They got to show awards, and that's a very important part, especially to Jeff Keighley. Very, very important they show awards. They don't show all of them, but they're going to show some of them. The reveals, the first look, stuff like that. You know that's going to be there, right? The celebration, think about it too. This is the end of a console era, right? We're at the end of PS4 and Xbox One, at the beginning of a new one. That's big, and that's, I'm sure, going to be celebrated. You think about it, just think about last year's Game Awards. Everything they show just takes more time off the clock. And if you want Hogwarts, you want Gotham Knights, you want Battlefield, you want GTA, you want just a new Uncharted game announcement, you want a new Silent Hill, you want Halo, the next Halo Infinite. You want all these games. It's impossible, right? You can't possibly show all of them. Now, I will talk about all of them, as many as I can, before we get to the Game Awards, because honestly, they are all possibilities. And I think if we were to make a list right now of like 15 games we think could be there, or we want to be there, or whatever, I bet you we will get some right. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a situation where none of these are possible, right? Where we're just thinking about, oh, Gotham Knights, that can never happen. Hogwarts, that can never happen. No, it's not that. It's that if we want all of them together. That'll never happen. You know what I mean? So that's where it gets interesting. That's why video making becomes interesting, right? I think it's possible Gotham Knights is there. I think it would be very, very limited to just a trailer. I don't think they're in a situation for that. So my very, very bold prediction, remember last year I got mine wrong because I said it would be at the Game Awards. My prediction this year is that it will not be at the Game Awards. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. It's not going to be there, in my opinion. Hopefully, everything I've done is wrong and opposite. And so when we see the Game Awards, when it's live, Gotham Knights is there, and we can all, have an applause. But to be honest with you, I'm not going in expecting Gotham Knights stuff. I really actually feel we're just going to get Gotham Knights stuff, besides, not at the Game Awards, but still, as I said in the last video, I think we'll get Gotham Knights stuff in November or December, no matter what. So I think even if it's not at the Game Awards, by the end of this year, by the end of 2020, we'll have a new, whether it's a new trailer, a new gameplay thing, a new big piece of information, a release date, whatever. I think we're going to get at least one of those things before the end of 2020. Doesn't necessarily have to come at the Game Awards, right? So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Do you think it could be there? What do you think would be shown there? What other things you think would be there? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my other social media stuff, as always, is in the description. My second channel, my Discord, my Twitter. If you guys haven't supported me there, please do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.